Hello, survivors. Welcome back to the garage, the Waste's vault of knowledge. You're watching the most in-depth and useful show for every true fan of Crossout. Subscribe now and don't forget to click the bell icon, never to miss another episode full of good stuff straight from the devs. And don't forget that we now also have the Crossout show here. The best designers and drivers can compete for prizes. Get in, watch, take part. Buckle up, fellas. It's go time. Survivors, we are once again heading to our training ground to test the new user builds from the exhibition. We want to remind you that if your machine can amaze either of us or the members of the community, we'll gladly show it in this section of our videos, so you're highly welcome. Scorpion Bazooka. Actually, the name speaks for itself. A huge tank armed with a devastating tsunami cannon. The Humpback cabin is easily one of the most popular ones in the Wastes, and we will definitely talk about it again later in the video. 6 symmetrically placed mechanical legs, 3 on each side, help this transport to move. At this point, gas generator and Mach 2 engine can be considered as a must-have pack for crafts like this one. All 15 available energy points are used with nothing left to improve. The power score of this walking behemoth exceeds 9,000, and the structure level is almost 2,000. The scale of the machine seems to be the weakest point. Due to its large size, the Scorpion is an excellent target for an enemy craft. It's not so easy to hide, and the tank is always visible. Avoiding shots will be tricky as well. The mechanical legs are a pleasure to control, but the whole craft is relatively slow. This transport can unleash its fury only under protection of the fellow bodyguards. The damage, though, is more than remarkable. 2 shots will be enough to destroy or seriously damage an average enemy craft, and the install scope will help for sure. As a result, we have an unusual and interesting model representing a bright construction idea. You'll need to adjust a bit, but a skilled fighter with solid teammates can really save the day riding this one. Porcupine. What do we have here? Havas plus mine layers is an interesting combination indeed. We don't even remember reconstructing anything similar. 6 turbines are a neat minimum for the chosen form factor. Powerful radar detector will help to reveal the enemy position, and the chameleon model can hide the transport from enemy eyes. But please don't forget that the fire from the Havas can reveal your position if you stay too close to the adversary. All weapons are long-ranged. 4 porcupines can fire explosive barrels at considerable speed rate. Nothing more to install here since the energy resource is completely exhausted. There can only be one strategy for this transport, and it's a lot of fun. The pilot finds a group of enemies, approaches them under the cloak of invisibility, and starts making chaos and fire. The craft itself will probably be destroyed soon, but the dealt damage will be irreparable. Imagine part of the map on fire with most of the enemy craft unable to move. By the way, it'll be nice to have some teammates nearby to finish the job. Survivors, we would also like to draw your attention to the 4P Monstro craft. This machine consists of 4 different parts, each one controlled by its own driver. You need to construct the transport right on the battlefield. The first part goes to the second one, and the third one to the fourth. In the end, you'll have a mini Leviathan for PvP battles. If you'll be able to perform on all these manipulations, please let us know in the comments section. Or share your experimental videos to Crossout Show via email. You can earn real prizes for your construction skills and creativity. The show comes out on the same channel. Check it out when you will have a minute. Survivors, last time we told you about the Hot Rod Cabin, an exclusive, but not the most effective part of the game. Today, we're gonna analyze other parts of this category and decide which are best for crafting your ride. Cabins are the basis of your ride. Along with weapons, they shape the style of your game. You should choose the part in accordance with your goals. All cabins can be divided into light, heavy, and balanced. You can get a rough idea of the part by its parameters, primarily mass and energy. Light cabins are designed for maneuver battles, where you don't expose yourself to fire. Such rides are quite small, while significant speed lets you cut behind the enemy. Heavy cabins is the direct opposite. They boast of way heavier tonnage as well as way more energy. Impressive power allows for more parts while not losing in speed. Balanced cabins are multifunctional and perform different tasks. Their speed still allows for unexpected maneuvers impossible for heavy crafts, while energy and tonnage are better than those of the light ones. In most cases, balanced cabins is the preferred choice. We've put all the 17 cabins, including the hot rod, into a comparison table. Let's analyze the most popular cabins of the wastes. Trucker, a rare scavenger's part. Heavy and durable cabin provides serious tonnage with very low acceleration. 11 points of energy, 240 points of structure, 750 points of power. These parameters combined help create a very dangerous craft. You'll have to pay with mobility though. It's gonna be a powerful but long-range ride, as you may guess by its name. Jawbreaker. This cabin has the same energy as the trucker. It can be crafted at Steppenwolf's portable workbench. The rough looks give away its military past. The form is very suitable for combat. Flat surfaces make enough space to install parts and weaponry. Humpback. Humpback has the same advantages as the Jawbreaker when it comes to installing the parts. But since it's an epic cabin, Humpback outperforms its rivals. It's a large and very durable cabin with 1,500 points of power and 300 points of structure. 12 points of energy let you install pretty much anything. To craft the cabin at Steppenwolf's Camp Workshop, you'll need copper, wires, scrap, a couple of Jawbreakers, 2 APC wheels, and 2 engines. At a full stop of the ride, the aiming time reduces by half. It's a good part worth fighting for. Growl. Lunatic's cabin for the fastest crafts. Perfect for the close-range rides with contact weapons or shotguns. You can't go wild with only 9 points of energy. Speed parameters are among the best in the game. Rides based on a Growl can maneuver fast, cut behind the enemy, prove to be very effective in raids. Don't forget that alongside Dawn Children, the game has now 2 more cabins, a rare Pilgrim and an epic Quantum. Their parameters are tailored for the scientist works. Since survivors didn't yet have time to learn all the nuances of the new parts, these 2 are out of the overall ranking for now, but they will show their worth later. Western Territories is one of the most unfriendly zones of the wastes. Heat, dust, storms, landslides, and raiders' attacks are not the only dangers lying in wait here. Attracted by the sounds of heavy vehicles working, Leviathans attack mining complexes and caravans. You have, of course, already heard of these enormous rides. Even in this show, we've demoed them more than once. Black boxes peeled away off their charred wreckage is the key commodity in the new world. That's why the outings into El Diablo Gorge bring solid returns to venturesome mercenaries despite the enormous risk. There's just an armed watchtower on the surface, but something suspicious happens underneath the sand. The ground shakes, moaning, and roars arise. Lights are seen in the sky at night. Sometimes it's better not to think about the hellish stuff happening there at all. The map layout is very simple, and that's understandable. An enormous ride is craving for your death. What other obstacles do you need? It's worth mentioning that the enemies here are user crafts. High-level gamers can assemble a Leviathan and then send it to combat for the whole damn night. And a corresponding PvE mode, it runs into all gamers with matching power points automatically. If Leviathan wins, its author gets a reward. The giant is controlled by AI, and the craft can be recalled ahead of time for readjustment. All installed modules can be used on other rides simultaneously. In one raid, survivors collide with 3 enemies in a row. Even if your giant is destroyed by the attackers, the other craft secure a victory, everyone gets the reward. If you look at the mission on the other side of the barricade, the fights against Leviathans are definitely one of the most difficult types of raids. It's inadvisable to get too close to the giant. You won't be able to compete in combat power. Long-range weaponry is necessary. This list includes guns, missiles, and artillery. Machine guns and shotguns are less effective because you'll definitely get into a powerful counterattack while staying in their combat range. A nicely crafted Leviathan needs only seconds to completely destroy a ride. If you see that the giant is aiming at your ride, escape the firing line and dodge it until it focuses on another victim. Remember that enemy lethality in raids increases with each stage. If the parameters of the first one cover barely half of your team power points, the last foe attacks at full force. Watch out and, if possible, shoot off the weaponry. In due course, this will help you come closer, dealing more damage. Time to see which questions bothered you the most last week. Are you guys planning to expand ride search at the exhibition? In the future, we plan to refine the exhibition interface, including additional assortment and draft search ways. Any plans to add a harpoon? We're working on adding harpoons into Crossout, and I've already tested several prototypes.
So what about special events or cards for Christmas or Halloween?
Holidays won't steer clear of the wastes. Stay tuned. Well, that's it for today, survivors. As always, looking forward to seeing you in a week. Ever ready for new discoveries? The most interesting stuff is still ahead. Don't forget to leave your questions in the comments and tell your friends about the show. We're always happy to see new riders. Be seeing you.